Right. Good morning to you, students. I'm not sure whether there is a lady. I saw two gentlemen. Yesterday, we had an attempt to have our lesson. Unfortunately, the network could not do justice to us, for us. However, I promised to give you an audio. I tried a video and trying to send it is not getting through. But I'm sending this audio to you, after which I will also send you a PDF of the lecture. Our subject is principles of investigations, right? First thing is why principles of investigations. The subject is principles of investigation because our aim in this lecture in this subject, so to speak, is to understand the principles of conducting investigations. The subject of investigation is quite wide. We cannot cover it in one module, but it's taken step by step depending on the depth that one wants to go with studying investigations. We have many types of investigations in terms of the mode of operation of the investigation, or how things are examined, or what is examined. But basically, in the broad sense, or the bottom line of investigation, is that what we have to understand, what is investigation? Investigation is given definition by Dempsey in 1996, page 3 in his book. He defines investigation as a systematic and thorough examination or inquiry into something or someone. It entails the collection of facts and information and the recording of that examination to come up with a report. Keywords here that we must take into account is systematic. That's a keyword. It's systematic, meaning to say it follows a system. And it is an examination. Something is being examined. It could be an object, it could be a person, it could be an item, it could be a situation. Then the other keyword is inquiry. It may not be an examination, but it might be an inquiry. You inquire into a happening, into a situation, in order to establish facts surrounding that particular situation. And another two keywords is something. Something is being examined. An inquiry is being conducted because something has happened, or someone could have done something, or someone something could have happened to someone. Then we carry an inquiry. Other keywords: facts. We want to establish facts. It's not hearsay, but facts or information. We need to be informed about that something or about that someone. Then recording, meaning to say those facts are recorded and a report is produced. That is an investigation report. Investigation report is now conveying information that has been obtained from or a result of that investigation. Right? Investigation, under what circumstances do we carry investigation? Investigation is done to do background checks. Background checks are a form of investigation. You are investigating information about someone's background. Who is he? What is he doing? How does he stay? Right? Then the types of inquiries that we can have. We have administrative inquiries, the ones that we do at home, at workplaces, like disciplinary inquiries. Those are administrative, investigations or inquiries. We do stock verification. That's an inquiry. Market survey. Those are inquiries. Stock shrinkage. Those are administrative inquiries. Something that we do in store that establish, not simply because something has happened, but just to establish facts. We also have crime cases. We do inquiries into crime cases where a crime has been committed, then an investigation is convened or is instituted to establish facts about how that crime has occurred, why that crime has occurred, who committed the crime, when was it committed, how was it committed. So we want to establish those facts and we commission an inquiry. We also conduct inquiries as the type of inquiries that we do in order to verify incidences and accidents. Where an accident has occurred, it might not necessarily be a crime, but it's an accident that has occurred. It's also not administrative, but we want to establish how that accident happened, who caused the accident, when did the accident happen, how did it happen, so that we establish the facts surrounding the accident, and decisions can be made either to blame, either to charge, either for insurance and the right. We also have incidences, fire incidents, damage to property, all sorts of things that happened those are incidences, right? People fought, that's an incident. Somebody falls, it's an incident, right? So we do, those are the types of inquiries or investigations that might be carried. Now, I talked about the investigation being broad, right? The mode of conducting investigation. Nowadays we have forensic investigation to verify correct facts about something, right? It could be blood, to trace blood, whether the blood belongs to Murire or the blood belongs to whoever, or the relationship between a substance and the other substance. That's a forensic investigation. We will go deeper into it, but I'm just giving you here the nature of investigations that can be carried. It can also be classified, we say, the physical and forensic investigation. Ballistics is also forensic investigation. To study why, say, a gun has been fired, to relate whether a bullet that came from that gun came from which gun did that bullet come from? Does this hair belong to so and so? That's physical investigation, but it uses forensic science. So it's the application of science into investigation to establish the relationship between materials. We also have digital forensics, the one that relates to computer science, whether a document came from this printer or from that printer. That's forensic, the digital forensic investigation, right? Then we have got pure physical, which has got no forensic analysis. The one that you do through observation, direct observation that you do, and the analysis of behavior, and the like crime scene analysis. That's physical inspection. That's physical investigation. Then the prime purpose of investigation. Why do we conduct investigation? We do investigation to document incidents. We do investigation to identify the cause of undesirable situations. It could be loss, sudden decrease in income, loss of decreasing market share for a company, unexplained shrinkage, inventory discrepancies, defalcation, and the like. We also carry out the investigation to document and correlate facts surrounding any situation. That is investigating to document the relationship, the correlationship between events, cause and effect. We also do investigations to identify suspects involved in a crime or act of misconduct. We carry out investigation to compile information that proves or disapproves an allegation. If you allege that somebody has committed a crime, then an investigation is conducted in order to prove that allegation or disapprove it. We also carry out investigation to establish acts of misconduct, to identify a person involved in a crime. We also do investigation to prove or disapprove or exonerate or connect somebody to a particular crime or event. Investigations reports are used in order to arrive or to make decisions, at times in relation to the level of misconduct or suitability of a person. Right? These are the purposes for which investigations are carried out. Then we come to the attributes of an investigation. A proper investigation should have specific attributes for it to be acceptable, or to be a proper, for us to say investigation was properly conducted. It must follow a proper way. It must be done in line with certain accepted procedures or attributes, as we may call them, or qualities of an investigation. A properly conducted investigation must be objective. An investigation must be conducted in a manner that correlates to the purpose for which it has been commissioned. If it is commissioned for the purpose of establishing the conduct of a person, then facts that must be collected must relate to that particular purpose of the investigation. All other items that might come in should not be considered. That is for us to now say an investigation is objective. It must not be subjective. That is to say, we want to carry out the investigation so that we can pin so and so, or we want to dismiss him. Then you do an investigation. Then it doesn't have a purpose. It must be focused on a particular event or something that is proven, that is in existence. So you must be objective. It must not be. You must not be influenced by other factors which do not relate to the purpose of the investigation. So it must remain focused on what you are trying to establish. An investigation must be thorough. All relevant information in connection with that particular event or incident, occurrence, or someone must be collected. As long as that information is available, effort must be made to ensure that all possible information relating to the purpose of the investigation is collected as much as possible. That's thoroughness. Then information must be relevant. All the information that you collect pertaining to an investigation or an instance or for the purpose of that investigation, it must be relevant. Irrelevant information can cloud out the purpose of the investigation. It actually spoils the whole purpose if it is not relevant to the particular investigation. It means the result that or the conclusion that might be drawn from that investigation will be wrong. Then information that is collected must be accurate. Accurate in the sense that it must, as much as possible, free from error. If you are saying the color is blue, it must be observed as blue. For example, if somebody is identified at a crime scene, wearing a yellow dress, then the information that is extracted from there says he was wearing orange dress. The conclusion that will be drawn, that's not accurate, because orange and the yellow, they are different. So if it is yellow, let it be yellow. That's accuracy. Information that is collected from an investigation must be timely. It is supposed to be conducted at the time when it's supposed to be conducted. An investigation that is conducted late after the event has happened might not serve the purpose. 1. 2. Investigation that is conducted long after the event might miss out a lot of facts, because possibly, if it is a crime scene, certain items could have been affected by weather, wind, tampered with by people. So it must be timely conducted so that all relevant facts will still be available. And the report that must be produced from an investigation must also be timely. A report that might be made well after it is needed, decisions that the time that decision would be required to be made would have passed. So it must be timely so that the decisions that are supposed to be made from based on that report are made in time. At the time when they are supposed to be made. Then we come again to the types, situations or environment in which investigation is supposed to be are done. We have two types of environments. We've got a public environment and private environment. Hence, we have public investigation. Public investigation or public inquiry is the one that is commissioned by government. We often have commission of inquiries, that is an investigation. The Montlante inquiry that was done, some time back, that's following the elections, that's a public inquiry. It's an investigation. The investigation that is done by police for reported crimes, that is public investigation. It's done by public institutions on behalf of government. Then we have private environment investigations that is commissioned by yourself, like you call private investigators. Normally people think private investigation is for infidelity, establishing the infidelity be conducted by couples. It's not only restricted to that. Private investigation is commissioned by private individuals or private entities. Companies, they can commission internal investigation to establish the happenings within that company, to establish facts or incidences that occur within the company. That's private investigation. It's done to fulfill private interests or to aid decisions to be made by private entities or private individuals. A family or yourself can also commission a private investigation to establish the conduct perhaps of your child. That's private investigation. A misconduct occurring within a company, that company can establish an investigation, and that is private investigations. Now, the also difference, the tools and techniques that are used in both public and private investigations, they are the same. The environment and the legislative framework that governs the type of investigations or the powers and rights of investigators is the one that distinguishes between the two. But the techniques and the tools used, they are the same. If it is forensic investigation done in private setup, in private forensic investigation done in a public setup, the tools and techniques are the same. The public investigation, they are mainly done to protect and save society in general, whilst private investigation is done to serve private interests. Right? For today, purpose of the lecture today is to give an introductory, information to this subject of investigation. We won't go deep into it. So what we have talked about is the qualities of an investigation, where we are now saying the investigation must be objective, it must be thorough, information collected must be relevant, it must be accurate, and it must be timely. I repeat, investigation effects should be objective, thorough, relevant, accurate, and timely. Investigations are done in a public environment and a private environment. Hence, we have private investigation and public investigation. But the tools used in both environments, they are the same. We also talked about that investigation is a systematic and thorough examination or inquiry of something or someone, which involves the collection of facts and information and the recording of that information in order to come up with a report that will aid a decision making. Decisions could be a decision of a judge, a court of law, whether somebody could be convicted or not convicted, whether some property belongs to somebody or it doesn't belong to him, whether shrinkage in terms of inventory is a result of theft or is just perhaps what could cause shrinkage. Normally it's theft within a company or delivery of inadequate supplies, right? So those are the definition of an investigation. And we talked about the keywords: systematic, examination, inquiry of something or into someone, its facts and information, which should be recorded and to produce a report. The types of inquiries, we listed them as administrative, crime cases, background checks, incidents, and accidents. We also looked at the primary purpose of investigation, documenting of incidents, identifying cause of undesirable situations, loss, sudden decrease in income, market share, unexplained shrinkage of inventory, inventory discrepancies, defecation. We also looked at documenting of and correlating facts surrounding any situation, identifying suspects involved in a crime or act of misconduct, compiling information that proves or disapproves an allegation, identifying suspects involved in crime or act of misconduct, proving or disapproving an allegation that implicates or exonerates an individual. That's the summary of what we have talked today. I'll try to prepare a PDF and send it over to you before we go to the next lesson. Like I said, I'm available 24 hours of the day. Anyone with a question can ask anytime, anyhow. So for today, just put that into your head. Any question that you have, you can ask. But I'm sure most of you students that I'm having, you already have knowledge of this, some background. Perhaps as we go deeper into the subject, we have more questions. But otherwise, investigation, we also conduct it as individuals in our homes. Somebody, a child does something, before you start accusing, you do carry out investigation. I thank you. Have a good day.